Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name's Cody Bills, this is Brock Shimano. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd. Let's turn right over to the Fire Tip trading platform and see where we're at here today. Corn for December trading down 5 3/4 cents. Soybeans down 1 penny. Wheat in Chicago up a penny, and Kansas City wheat trading up 4 1/4 cents. You know, one thing to note here, wheat was able to hang in there at $7 3/4 cents. It's good to see that. Of course, I think the wheat market is really waiting for the agricultural ministries of Argentina to release their production estimate. They really had kind of a funky production estimate last Friday that they said wasn't really accurate, and they're going to be releasing a new one. So I think there is a little bit of anticipation there. Corn and soybeans both selling off a little bit today. Brock, was that the result of that crop progress report that came out after the market closed last night?
You know, I think that crop progress report did put a little bit of pressure into the market. What we saw there was corn actually coming in on the harvested progress just a little bit below analyst expectations. Soybeans just a little bit above, so I think that definitely put some pressure on soybeans. But I think the big thing that really put some pressure on these two markets was the condition ratings for both corn and soybeans. Corn actually improved by 5% over the previous rating in late September, and soybeans actually improved by 4% on the good to excellent ratings on what we were previously reported in September as well. So that's pretty substantial heading into harvest, and I think that really confirms the yield results that we've been seeing out of the fields. They've been coming in just a little bit better than anticipated for both corn and soybeans right now. You know, something else adding a little bit of pressure is really the weather. There's not much to speak of out there. If we take a look at the weather maps here for the next couple of days, really the only concern is that we're going to have pretty cool temperatures across the Midwest. You know, these shouldn't really damage the crops. They're already past the maturity levels. So really all this is going to do is really dry up the crops that are in the field and allow them to be harvested a little bit quicker. If you take a look at the next couple of days here, the temperatures are going to remain pretty low. But something that is just a little bit of a concern is the wintry forecast for some of those areas in the Midwest, up into North Dakota, South Dakota, northern parts of Iowa and southern Minnesota. It looks like we could get a little bit of precipitation, a little bit of snow, but I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to really cause too many delays across the board.
Yeah, so without the delays, really when you look at the market here, you know, it seems as though a little bit bearish news out there for corn and soybeans, and I think there's a good chance they could have sold off a little bit more had the dollar not sold off so sharply again today. One thing that drove that dollar lower was the fact that non-farm payrolls came out. It was lower than expected. Now that was a number that was delayed a couple weeks due to the government shutdown, and I think when that came out, it was much lower than expected, and it leaves a lot of question out there as to the Fed monetary policy, whether or not the Fed is going to do the tapering that they've talked about on the bond buying and the quantitative easing that they've been doing. The bottom line here is that affected the dollar, that drove the dollar lower. It was negative for the dollar, and of course that supports the grains in the U.S. because it makes them a little bit more competitive relative to other currencies throughout the world. Bottom line, when you look at this thing, I think that corn and soybeans kind of dodged a little bit of a bullet here today. I think they could have sold off a little bit more had the dollar not dropped so sharply.
You know, and really the dollar was supportive, and the outside equities are also a little bit supportive. The S&P and the Dow were both up about 0.5% today, so I think that added just a little bit of support. If you have any questions about what we talked about here today, make sure you give us a call, 877-472-4607. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, @GrainTV is where you'll find us there. Check us out on Facebook. And of course, we'll be updating you about any information that comes across the news wires coming down the pipeline. We do have the EIA ethanol production numbers tomorrow, and then we also have export sales on Thursday.